Look at the building without a permit that Jamie Page Westside Current won't cover. Look at racist Crackhouse Jack Hoffmann's bid for the Hollywood crowd workspace. The artless dilettante. The architect of rape murder culture. Artificially hyper-gentrified Snapcat bid garbage king. Now Tiny Bull, Tony Bill, the drunk actor, he's taking up all these spots, all these public parking spots, because this is Jack Hoffmann, Meth Mike Bonin Street. And when you Hollywood pimps come here to get your elite workspace, know that this is built on stolen blood. You're going to see the bodies, you're going to see the names, you're going to see the Jack Hoffmann muscle standing on this corner, hassling a disabled woman there, trying to escape from Roger Mahoney and Felicia Adams Kellum's Project Rape Key. We're going to take you down Market Street. We're going to take you down these 3 streets in 5 minutes, and you'll see the pimp. Here's Tiny Bull, Tony Bill, Pimp. All this turns into magic. And here's the Hollywood magic, and no building permit. Hotel Felon, Carl Lambert, Hotel Rapedorf. The Venice Hotel Felon, Carl Lambert, made public millions. Crackhouse Jack Hoffmann. This recovery room guru predator, Meth Mike Bonin. Boy, poverty pimp. Venice Design Series with Linda Lux. Deconstructing Hunter Biden level art. Oh my goodness, finally! Oh, finally! Finally, more pimp! Finally, more blood in the street for an attracted meth encampment population that Felicia Adams Kellum, Steve Clare, Linda Lux, and Jamie Page community officer, the latest instant reporter with an instant publication that's not a publication. God, we needed another Julie Del Mar, Jamie Page community officer. Boy, you're just in time. Now let's look at your record of achievement with Waterboy Will Hawkins, Ira Kozlow, Soul Dead You Slurper. Because I've been to those meetings where your candidates don't attend. I've been to all those meetings. Where's your building permit, boys? Where's the building permit? Who's your boss, Tony Bill? Thank God the union's here. Ain't no public parking. This is a Meth Mike Bonin, Dirty Roger Mahoney, global agenda trick. When you find out that this poverty pimp money is stolen money. And that's why they got Gascon. That's why they destroyed and demeaned the police that bust Dirty Roger Mahoney's pedophile protection racket. Yesterday's Easter Sunday. In the middle of the night, I'm restricted for another 6 or 9 months because they know they have to strangle and snuff the voices like they did those women who were sexually assaulted, like even Gary's voice being snuffed in death. Jesus walked upon the water. Man, it were no trick. Dirty Roger Mahoney, blasphemer. Previous Holy Father's sanction was brutal. What Archbishop Gomez called brutal and painful. But I'm through trying to report to you because you don't want the information. You want others to live in this rape, death, violent blood, violence, and pretend it's all great white. Pretend it's all Jack Hoffmann, Linda Lux. It's all Sonny Bach art crawl. It's all Waterboy Will Hawkins, and it is. It's sexual predators on youth. It's these Venice Neighborhood Council, Venice stakeholders, anything with a Venice in front of it at this point, created this rape murder culture. Anything not asking for a specific accountability and oversight with no even vague idea of where 1, never mind 8 or 9 of these poverty pimp properties are, and who the lease partner service providers are that are also unaccountable by tactics. Duh! Tracy Parkhouse wants a conversation. Joe Biscano, who helped, And Eric Garcetti's sewer city council boy, with his mouth shut during the mobocracy riots, like another sinister, mercilessly brutal coward. People walk around here, they're going, well, you must be service resistant. Well, they have the bridge house. You know, one more time, Rick Garvey from Rand and the mediatocracy, corporatocracy is going to lie about the stats. Everybody's in, oh, we need affordable housing. But the administration, criminal poverty pimps. There's your Ed Buck. There's your meth Mike Bonin. There's your vainglorious perverts, your gay mafia perverts. He's a meth addict pervert. A useful idiot. They needed a place stupid and cruel where Jack Hoffmann can, and hotel felon Carl Lambert with the neighborhood council, leaks, and all you people talking about tone. What's your tone? How many more women are raped, leaks? I should show your frickin' bikini off in 18 billion photo ops. How many women, sexually assaulted women, died while you cover up? Well, you're just another cover-up stooge on Venice Neighborhood Council, if you're still there, with all the other heroes. I still haven't had a chance to go over the specifics or any of this documentation because they got me locked up, choked down, and still 600,000 views on 2 songs. I'm just getting going. I work out every day to treat the depression and the suppression and this trauma, these concussions, this bludgeoning, these life-changing illnesses on top of a good work history that did include 5 orthopedic surgeries helping to save other people's lives as a first call rigging and production group at 20th Century Fox Films. And that industry doesn't really exist anymore. It's all social media. So Zuckerberg has how many restrictions against me? Dozens since right before the election. Now the Times is corroborating, and I didn't put any of those 100 Biden pictures anyway. But they want to shut the voice down. They want to give me avatars, 35 of them are gay. They think that's helping the gay cause. It's a disgrace. And the LA Pride community, anyone standing with Meth Mike Bonin, no one is going to stand with Meth Mike Bonin. No one with any credibility. That's black or gay and not on the take and not a photo op, queer elite covered in the BuzzFeed. 3-parter. Do your homework before you come out here and attract a stupid news crew like Felicia Adams Kellum. Your lipstick on the pig, fake cleanup, nobody's house. Project Rape Key, more motels. Garcetti and Bonin are in private real estate business with each other. 05. Holy Father sanctions Archbishop Mahoney, removes him from his disastrous pedophile, child-raping public presence. He's back. This one who declares, we're racist, you're damn right he is, yesterday. So we showed some historical context to that, with pictures that are easily found, historical, important pictures that are easily found, about people proud of their National Socialist Workers' Party in the 1930s, and they're all dressed up. And those pictures are available everywhere. And there's no blood, and there's no violence, there's no threat, there's not even an editorial statement. Bam, you're restricted. Where'd you get that picture? From you guys. Same place I got all the gay avatars that had to be traumatized by these little girls and cuties, humping like strippers. Best you guys can do is get in our kindergarten classes now. You gotta see a meth Mike Bonin when he's coming. A useful idiot, a meth addict. A straight meth addict. UK Guardian had better coverage of the Ed Buck thing than the LA Times. Rick Caruso, give me a call. Let's have coffee. Sir. Because I was here these last 10 years, day and night. I was here last summer, if you look at Horizon Health Action Coalition. I spoke with Felicia Adams Kellum. I spoke with Dexter O'Connell. I spoke with a dozen St. Joseph's people. They want me beaten, shamed, and ruined and homeless. because I'm talking about Gary Stewart's public suicide, because that's the only way he could apparently express certain aspects of his discomfort. Part of that, perhaps a very significant part of it, is his years working with me on trying to rescue sexual assault victims from the same people we were both trying to raise funds for. But those are the dynastic ghettoizing creeps, the Shane Goldsmith, Abby Sher, the White Splain, Drug House Becky Dennis and Linda Lux, Sylvia A. Roth, Barbara Milliken, Marie Kennedy types. Jamie Page, dime a dozen. Kids like that are a dime a dozen, no conscience. You ask, well, who's funding you? Where'd you come from? Oh, you're appearing with a special Venice Current exclusive with Meth Mike Bonin that nobody else can talk to. Who's funding you? What journalistic entity? What corporation? Hotel felon Carl Lambert or Crackhouse Jack Hoffmann or Steve Clear associated? Puff piece. Because Waterboy Will Hawkins has a LA Times puff piece with video, high production guys. He's thinking and everything. Vicious Waterboy, bully. He had to leave the chairmanship of the Venice Neighborhood Council. Shh. After upsetting a lot of women and having to apologize to next door, because the best these people can attract are the worst. Venice Neighborhood Council, Venice Stakeholders Association. Oh, we gotta have the hotels. Where does the money go? The money goes into more racist pimp, more destructive artificial hypergentrification. They don't care about these kids, these towns' kids, except to groom them, make sure they stay fatherless. How many kids did I try to help? Youth-built kids. They destroyed. They didn't give me access to my own community room I paid rent for. That's illegal. They don't care. The activist lawyers don't care. They want to see you die. And when you call for help and it isn't there, that's what those women found out. And when you do the courageous protocol that they themselves invented and put you through, just like my eviction trial without an attorney, and you do all that out of a sense of responsibility, sense of respect, more than even a sense of self-protection, because those women were already violated, and I've already been bludgeoned, beaten to the hospital so many times, nobody gives a shit. Until, one little thing happens to one person who's considered a viable somehow because they know Jamie Page. So that's how this little cancerous, incestuous shit is promulgated. And Drug House Becky Dennison knows that. Activists know that. That's all they do. Postmodern collectivist Meth Mike Bonin. That's all he does. Is he even marries some guy who's a media marketing director. That guy's a head case too. I say head case because Meth Mike Bonin, professional victim, is open about his major depressive order as supposedly his reason for not running again, because the big Democrat money pulled this thing, and because Nico and a couple of righteous, family people who don't know. And, I understand that. I was 40 years old here too, 30 years ago. And I didn't live right in the midst of it. But I don't want to apologize for people, because now it's time for the willful ignorance to stop, or you're going to be held accountable for not holding the people accountable that make you live in terror that you have to shut up about. And I can't shut up about it. Because I'm the king of rock and roll. Jesus, why me up? What do they say? When the time comes, the words will be given you. So that's why I write the lyrics all the way in the control room. You engineers can stop having to charge me extra for your therapy sessions and security. Thank you. Sunset Sound, I need 6 or 7, 8 hours. And that's all. I'll make history for you guys too, because every recording studio I go to, nobody else comes within hundreds of thousands of views who's an independent, unaffiliated, unsigned artist. And even some of them that are, like, I don't want to mention any names, like one of Paul McCartney's guitar player, not the cool guy. Not Rusty, but I don't want to mention any names. It's arrogant to me in these streets. But that's all right. God bless him. God bless us all. He's a very extremely talented man. He has gifts and talents and abilities I certainly don't, and vice versa. He's got 6,000 first, got a brand new thing with a little Trump snide thing, and got 312,000. I don't even know how to handle, for good God Almighty. So I came up with Mean and Restless and all these studio people, not the high-end people, but the mid-level people and the other people. Blacklisted, making me miserable. Created their jobs. Lots of them in this industry, Gary and I and others. So, Mockingbird Sings, the first of my Tennessee recordings that I rewrote the vocals for and cut the vocals for recently. It was one of the last things Gary Stewart heard before he died. He told me the nature of our relationship is never about my own stuff at all. I was extremely comfortable with that. It did wonders for that label and what they do. And so John Davis, from Led Zeppelin's remastering engineer, mastered Mean and Restless, building back a better new normal for us, and that's has a backstory that's trying to get out. But I'm weak, I would try to put on a good, strong front, but I'm 70 years old. I've had 5 orthopedic surgeries, and I keep on coming to life as a challenge, thinking that's a blessing from Jesus to come to another level of acceptance and discipline and focus and clarity and intention. So, when all that happened in my physical job helping others, very well liked in that industry. A lot of talent and crew came to our show, Mayflower Slave shows, a lot of them. It was very beautiful. But I went back to writing, which I don't like to do because it's so hard and it takes so long, and I don't have the time to edit or do anything. I live in, I live in heat stroke temperatures in a small little box. In a violent mobocracy, pandemic lockdown, in this future shock dystopia that I was describing to you, and that I had written songs about for a long time before some of it actually manifested. One of those is Mockingbird Sings, and it references German silent film director, brilliant, prescient. I say that as a grip who's been privileged to work with some great directors of photography, on Edward Scissorhands and Die Hard 2 and Speed and Alien 4. I mean, very, 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 very beautifully produced film projects. An opportunity to learn and be of service. So, a lot of those youth build kids, they never had a grown-up man talk to them of any race that cared about them and cared about what they were writing and playing. That Becky Dennison sexual predators on youth stuff's bullshit. Professional producer, I'm an educated child psychology and other things in college. In Franconia College, I taught in nursery school. They don't let me have my own community room and have stooges with no education, no care, no viable jobs ever, first jobs ever, intentionally, purposefully, throwing me downstairs, bludgeoning me, Bridget Bell stopping me from access from my own community room that's got windows and boards and cameras. I want to let those kids come in. Let something vital happen. Let your project work. Let your project work. Let Horizon Apartments LLC be a stunning example of awake, conscious efforts, a loving, empathetic community that cares for people, because you see the wastrels that are still in that building and the violence victims that are still in the building and the hopelessness. It doesn't stop. These people aren't progressives. They don't care. They don't look. They embrace willful ignorance. And when faced with facts and truth, they stamp you down and clamp you down. When the mediatocracy, corporatocracy, and this is more than the gestation, this is the genesis of it. I saw Meth Mike Bond and Steve Clear and Becky Dennison and Crackhouse Jack Hoffmann put their heads together. I saw Mark Ryebeck look the other way. All these idiots know each other. All these guys are the same corrupt sewer. And they get a little chick like Jamie Page to go, the artful vision. Hotel Irwin, racist Hotel Irwin, takes another 30 public parking spots, so African American or working class people of any color can't come here and not live in the terror and abuse. What I will show you that's happening just right here, day after day after night after day after night after night after day after day. And Jack Hoffmann got his porch sprayed by the bid people he charges everybody else for. So you people are stupid. You deserve this. You deserve to get ripped off. Hustlers do that. That's why there's a boardwalk. That's why it's, shit stuff and porno panties and crap everybody knows falls apart for all the hype and all the bullshit. And it could be something wonderful. And it is now and then, because, God is real and nature is beautiful and people are beautiful. And I don't resent those 200,000 people that come here in a week. I love them. It's interesting. It's fascinating. And I know how much they wanted to actually see what this residential neighborhood was. And it's gone, because Jack Hoffmann raped Market Street and raped you and the rest of this community, and American law and contract law and federal law and state law and county law. So did a felon, Carl Lambert. I know these guys. I've known them, Crackhouse Jack Hoffmann, for decades. I know how they work. I see how they strut. I see how Carl takes pleasure in having Tom, the honorary custodian, with my bun, and puts on that Melissa Diner, Vinny Caggiano, Westminster Plaza sign. They know that Tom's a rapist. Puts me in further jeopardy having to show you, but I will. I'll show you how Timo Sorrow and Drug House Becky Dennison and Bridget Bell and her staff and Stacy Burmaster and Jonathan Sharon and Vera Vassal, all these names I shouldn't have to know, but these forced relationships with these billing entities that are racist. 20 units. One's the residential manager. There's been 6 or 7 of them. None of them have been correctly titled. Suicide cluster, drug house, prostitution, serial violence. They're activists. They can turn it on or off. And they have. When Keith finally went into the hospital for a while before he died, Becky Dennison cleared out his whole apartment and changed the locks and everything, except the locks on our front door, so that the pimp could continue. So let's look at how many St. Joseph can. I know I've had about 20 myself, and I've been out of their system for years. I had a dozen before I got anywhere. I got billed for years before I got the rest of the way screwed. So when you talk about service resistant and how, I'm not a criminal, violent vagrant, raised other people's children in this. You come to dance and delight and call the press under that Venice sign. Your executioners and your fakes. Your Heidi Roberts fakes. Your Linda Lux Grimehouse sewer rats with a Barbara Milligan and Sylvia A. Roth front. You're the toxic rape culture that breeds fascism.